I want to get this out before anything else. It's probably obvious to most of you, but don't live your life with content creators. Unless this person is a professional in any social, financial and emotional support, etc, etc, the advice given could be misleading and invalid, therefore shouldn't be taken as actual advice. This strongly goes for content creators as well. They get huge fan bases, and usually a large majority of those fans usually try to copy their lifestyle, which shouldn't be done, because they aren't saints that know all right and wrong, and definitely not what's best for your health. When you get such big fan bases, you must of course act maturely and try to tell them not to follow your advice about any of those topics because it could lead to bigger problems. At least that's the best option, because you aren't a doctor, you're a college dropout who got a second chance with YouTube. Most content creators know this though, because it's common sense, which is good because we don't want those things to happen. But there is a YouTuber out there which seems to ignore this completely, yet having an extremely huge fan base. This isn't some baby case, this is one of the biggest YouTubers out there at the moment. So this is a huge problem. His fanbase is extremely easily manipulated and pushed around by his own opinions, meaning his ideas get intense followings. Of course I'm talking about the one and only Dream. Now, hating on Dream is not something new. In fact, it's considered to be hip and cool at this point. That's obviously because of his immature behavior. And most hate and criticism against him is totally justified. He really does manipulate his fanbase to a great extent, and is unprofessional in how he handles stuff such as criticism. Though I wanna cut him some slack, because some of the cancelling attempts are very petty and stupid, though there are definitely stuff that he has done that shouldn't be forgiven as quick as they were. We should probably get into the stuff he has done now. I don't want the intro to be as long as it is already, so let's go. Dream stans are obviously well known for being so passionate about him. They tend to do whatever he commands. The first thing to address would be the 2020 mob vote. Minecraft mob votes usually happen yearly, where people get to vote for an upcoming mob to Minecraft. The one with most votes gets added into the game, which is a neat little way for the developers to connect with their audience more by knowing what they want the most. Some of you might already know where this is going, but I'll go on. So the 2020 mob vote consisted of 3 mobs: the Glow Squid, the Moo Bloom and the Iceologer. I honestly wanted to vote for Moo Bloom first, but I realized it would be a pointless addition to the game, so I wanted Iceologer instead. Cause it's a new pillager, I mean come on! It adds more variety to them, and we haven't had an ice wizard in Minecraft yet. That would be pretty cool, I think. But Dream said, oh no, you can't have any of that. And he came up with a master plan to get Glow Squid, arguably the worst fucking mob of them all, to be added. He knew his fanbase. He knew they were easily ruled over by his gaze and decided to take advantage of them. He continuously tweeted about voting for the Glow Squid and how he'd follow his fans back if they voted for it, and of course they ate it up as the good little kittens they are. Of course they didn't follow them back after telling them to do it, so he's a fucking liar and made people vote for a mob they most likely didn't want. And of course, to no one's surprise, the Glow Squid won. Guess what it does? Okay, I get this. It gives you glow ink that you can use to make a glowing item frame. Completely useless. Are you happy now, Dream? Is this what you wanted? Sure, it's gonna come handy in your next speedrun. Can't have shit in Detroit, I guess. I mean, we already had an entire update dedicated to making the waters of Minecraft interesting. Wasn't that enough for you? You absolute buffoon! Okay, I'm just gonna take a breather. Anyways, obviously none of the people who voted for the Glow Squid because of him didn't vote for it because they liked it. It's obviously just because he told them to. He later had to apologize for his behavior, and this is the tweet.
But I'm sorry to anyone I upset by influencing the vote. My community is part of the Minecraft community too, and we don't really care about the dumb squid. We just care about coming together and having fun, and I didn't realize it would be taken so seriously.
Great heavens! Sincere apologies, Mr. Dream. I was so foolish. You're free from all responsibilities from now on. Now stay here while I go get you a silver plate of grapes. Are you serious right now? Is this his actual response? Why the fuck is he influencing the vote in quotation marks? Of course you fucking influenced it. You know your fans, you know they do whatever you do, no matter how mundane or dumb it is. Of course they will vote for the Glow Squid if you tell them to. And the most ironic part is how he says, we don't really care about the dumb squid. Why the fuck did you even suggest to vote for it? God damn. I know he says he thought all mobs would be added in the end, but that's fucking stupid. Because it's a mob vote. If all mobs were added in the end, the vote would be pointless. He probably was like,
why don't I command my fans to vote for a stupid squid and make it win? That'll be funny, I think.
Really funny, right? To use his incredibly large fanbase, they basically rig the mob vote and ruin it for everyone else. Very funny. Oh, but that's just one of the many things he has done, okay? He has been as well supporting the idea of stans, misleading his fans by telling them it's something completely else than what it is, and making an entire video on why stans are okay, but literally ignoring the fact that stan means an overzealous or obsessive fan of a particular celebrity. What I like about this is how he never addresses the inappropriate fanfics and gore and child porn that was made of him and the other members of the Dream SMP, because they need to all feel validated and special.
I can't call them out for what they're doing, after all they're just having fun.
And by the power of his stan army, he was able to also harass Geosquare after he called him out for... Well, we'll get into that later in the video. That's all I can say about that. I know there are more on the topic, but that's all I'll write about it. Let's just move on. Dream is big. Like, big. Like, big. And therefore he has to of course handle criticism and other stuff maturely, because he has a lot of eyes on him basically all the time. This however is obviously not the case, the opposite in fact. He really can't stand criticism or being called out for some heinous shit that he probably did, because
that would not be representative of who he really is.
So he would be banning criticism on his subreddit because he thought he already was a perfect angel or some bullshit. This is very unprofessional of him, because you should consider all valid criticism that comes through to you. Of course, all of it couldn't have been valid, but I believe most of it was. And when Geosquare called him out for reasons, he would act highly immaturely and call them out for lying about it all. Oh, the irony. He would end up making an entire response video where he hires an astrophysicist to explain why the things he was accused of was fake. Plus he for some reason said,
Geosquare, go back to the circus.
Jesus Christ, you find a way to make yourself look like a complete hypocrite about everything. The entire glow squid thing was very childish and immature of him as well. Like, come on dude, you're this big and you got the mindset of a 5-year-old. Think, Dream, think! Whatever, let's move on. I have been saving this one for last for those who haven't heard of it yet. This will be a stain on his career for the rest of his legacy. Let's just get into it. Back in 2020, Dream submitted a Minecraft speedrun to speedrun.com. This speedrun became number 5 in the world, so obviously it was a big deal. However, after Dream's power trip on Twitter about his placement on the leaderboard, one of the moderators, Geosquare, noticed that there was something that didn't add up. His ender pearl drops were a little too frequent, and it turned out that the chances of him getting these drops were 1 in 7 trillion. So obviously they removed the run from speedrun.com and he flipped this shit. He attacked the moderators and called them out for spreading false accusations and how the moderators were cloud chasers. Then he made a response video where he just hired an astrophysicist to explain that the numbers were exaggerated. He said that the actual chances of him getting those drops was 1 in 100 million. While that is a huge gap between those numbers, 100 million is still extremely big, so most people didn't buy it. His response was debunked shortly after release on Reddit. Even the astrophysicist admitted that he had done some faults in the math as well, and that Dream was most likely cheating. Dream would shadow ban words such as Carl Jobst, which made a video exposing him of cheating, and Reddit on his subreddit. I don't know why he shadow banned Reddit though, that's a game theory for another time. Actual North Korean style dictatorship, silencing the people, and then the drama lay dead for a while and people slowly forgot about it. Until 5 months later, when Dream had a mental breakdown in the bathtub and wrote a 3,000 word essay about how he accidentally had a mod on during the speedrun. He explained how he had a mod in his folder and that it affected his drops, and guess what? He plays the victim card the entire time. Considering the fact that he lied for 5 months, his fans must be quite mad at him, right? Nope, they were extremely forgiving and they forgot about it like 2 days afterwards. What a surprise! I believe Dream knew it would go like this as well. This is probably how it went down. Oh man, I feel so bad about me cheating on the speedrun. Yeah right, complete bullshit. Well, I still feel like explaining what's going on, so why not I just post it now? I mean, after all, it's been 5 months. It's not like anyone's gonna care anyway. Like, my fans would obviously not attack me. They're sheep. They're my little kittens. They would never let me down. Might as well just write an essay about it. Make sure to make it long so it seems serious. And I'll make sure to play the victim card through the entire essay. It obviously worked, which is what grinds my gears. This should infuriate his fans. I mean, he lied to them months on end with no remorse, and then when he finally admits, he still tries to build sympathy for himself. But they are incredibly sympathetic and understanding of him, and acted like it wasn't a big deal to begin with. That's what I hate about them. They try to defend their idol to great extent, and when it turns out they were wrong the entire time, they immediately realize they look like bad people and end up just saying, "Bro, it was just a stupid game anyway, who cares?" Lol, you do. Don't try to hide it. Even people who had made videos on him about cheating forgave him immediately and just moved on. What makes this entire thing a huge pile of horseshit is how quickly it was forgotten. This is meant to be a big stain on his career for the rest of his life, but people just shrugged it off immediately. And people didn't believe in his story because of hard-hitting facts, but because they sympathized with him. Hence him playing the victim card through the entire thing. I'm just gonna end it there, it's too much to comprehend, even for me. This is an extra section, I only added it because it's so funny. Dream had just released his music video for his newest single, Mask, which I don't think personally is that good, but hey, music is subjective. Anyway, so people got mad as they tend to do over everything, so he tweeted this.
It really be like, he visualized his personal experience as a kid with ADHD and medication for it? Disgusting! Drugs. Ayo, turn that shit up, Charles!
Nothing bad about it, but the smooth brain that Dream is thought, wait a minute, this tweet kinda racist. Better remove it and apologize. So we tweeted this. Felt like it was important for me to say I'm sorry to my reply earlier that contained this me saying drugs could be harmful to black members of the community. What the fuck? He's apologizing for essentially nothing and his apology ends up being even more racist. Like what was going through your brain at the time? Are you seriously thinking that that would be considered harmful? Not even cancel culture is that stupid. It's like he checks his tweets afterwards to see if anything could be interpreted controversial and ends up thinking it will be racist because of reasons? This is just too funny. I couldn't help myself adding this to the video. I'm just gonna stop now. It's enough. Enough about Dream. Okay, fuck this. In conclusion, Dream bad, Green guy good. I know I have been very harsh on Dream and his fans for this entire video. That's it. Like, there's nothing to add to that. I honestly first thought Dream was just an unlucky guy to get such a toxic and horrible community, and therefore getting a bad rep, but now I think the bad rep he got is all justifiable. He has done so much dumb shit and he gets away with it every time. Worst part is that he never really apologizes. He usually says, sorry, but they tend to be empty words, and months later he makes jokes about the drama and basically says it wasn't a big deal anyway. It's his triumph card to be relieved of his responsibilities, which means he never learns from his mistakes and just keeps on doing it over and over again. I know he has fucked up multiple times, and yes, he can be forgiven for it, if we give it time. But not this fast, like 2 days pass and he's in the clear when he admits to fucking cheating, like, come on now, be better than this. I really wish his fans would show this kind of mercy and remorse towards people who actually didn't do anything wrong but still gets cancelled, but of course they don't. Should Dream be as influential as he is? No, definitely not. It's fine that he has a platform and a fan base, but he shouldn't have such influence on their lives as he has. That is though not his fault that he got this type of fans, but he's also most likely knowing of how they act and has multiple times used them for advantage, which is unforgivable. Is he the worst person on YouTube? No, of course not. There are way worse people than him. All that he has done is completely uncomparable to, say, murder, for example. That's common sense. You're incredibly stupid if that's not obvious enough for you. I think it would be fine if he just made videos for his fans but tried to keep his mouth shut sometimes. If he ever came across this video, would he take the criticism provided and try to learn from it? No, fuck that. He would probably be like, sorry, I don't listen to nobody's. Besides, I'm perfect as I am. Right, my little kittens? Yes. You are perfect as you are, Dream. Now my last words to you, the viewer, is you may like Dream and his content. Don't be harsh on yourself if you like him and would be considered an obsessive fan of his by others. Unless you are one, of course, then you should reconsider your life choices. If you like his content, good. Just don't follow his words like it's the Bible or his advice at all. It's most likely shitty and a cleverly disguised excuse for him to make more money off of it. Don't be a sheep. Be yourself. Not a half-baked opinion spread through multiple people. And that's it really. Yeah, okay, what else? Okay, nothing, bye!
Fuck no, baby.